It kind of feels like we're just in a movie where like the world's kind of going crazy and we're waiting for the superhero to show up. That's how I kind of feel. What superhero would you like to show up, Mike, for the Marvel comics to help us out these days?
I'm not really in on all that, but maybe Captain America would be good right about now.
Yeah, Captain America would be nice. I think a nice dose of Captain Marvel would be really nice.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I would like to see that. Yeah. But we do have a new episode of Miss Marvel.
That's right.
That's where it's not the penultimate episode. The word penultimate is used by nerds to talk about the second to last episode. This is probably what the penultimate?
The second to last episode.
The penultimate ultimate?
Third to last episode.
What's okay? All right. No, it's the fourth episode. It's only 6 episodes, so it's the right.
Yeah, but it's third to last, right?
No. What? How is it third to last? Oh, because
there's 5 and then 6.
No, you're right. Dude, I just got real dumb. That's my brain just was like, you're stupid. Like, you ever just feel like you just become a dumb person? Like, well, I'm just dumb.
It happens,
dummy.
man. It happens.
Yeah. Yes, it's the second to third to last episode.
Third to last episode.
Second. Yes, third to last.
It's the second to the penultimate episode.
Okay, it's the second to the penultimate episode.
It's the penultimate episode.
I'm trying to move past this as fast as I can.
All right. It's titled Seeing Red. Good title.
Yeah, there was a lot of red in the episode. I guess I'm not really sure exactly why. Did you notice how much red that was? Like, people were wearing red. She was wearing some red. The food she was eating was red.
Yeah, there's what was that? Hot and sour soup was red.
Yeah. And real quick, if anybody knows Pakistani food and you know what she was eating at the campfire, please let me know.
Oh, she was eating biryani.
What? Okay, what is that?
I know it from Indian food. It's an Indian dish. It's kind of like their version of fried rice. It's good stuff.
Oh God, that sounds
good
so
stuff.
Good.
So I think they were eating chicken biryani.
It was a chicken wing and like a chicken thigh.
Yeah, like a whole piece of chicken in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Indian. I just want to say this: Indian food is absolutely delicious.
Yes, it is.
Every time I go to an Indian restaurant, I have like the best time. I went to an Indian restaurant last week. And we dropped some money down, and I got some of the best lamb I ever had. Oh,
yeah,
so
that's good stuff. There's a Nepalese restaurant that I like going to sometimes when I travel to see my brother. It's very much, it's all of those foods within that area are all cross-pollinated and inspired by each other. So it's very much like Indian food, but it's got a little special twist to it that I really dig.
This is now an Indian food podcast. We're talking about different kinds of naan. I like garlic naan, but some people don't. It depends on who you're with.
Yeah.
So going to Karachi, I think was a good idea for the show. We need to get out of New Jersey. I was kind of sick of being there, so that was nice. We got to see a lot of really cool things.
The director for this episode was born in Karachi.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
I really felt like we got a real look at another city.
Now, was this a set or was it actually Karachi?
I have no idea, but it felt real to me.
Yeah, even if it was a set, it felt like someone knew what Karachi was like.
Right.
So that was good enough for me. It just felt like we were able to travel there through Kamala's eyes, and as like she wearing jeans to a restaurant and didn't allow jeans.
That was interesting.
And it really felt like she was like a teenager traveling someplace and she really didn't fit, hanging out with her cousins that she didn't really fit. And so it all felt real good. I really liked the way they did the show.
Her grandmother has a really nice house.
Yeah. I like the detail that it was a gated community. Like it had the gates and everything. Because that's how, if you're rich, you probably have to have that in Pakistan. But like the whole family dynamic, like the conversations with the grandmother, I'm going to bring this up a little bit later. But the mother and the grandmother talking, it felt like Kamala was bonding with the mother a little bit. Everything was feeling really good. And I think the show, again, really knows what it wants to do, is really trying to do something kind of interesting with Kamala's character. And pulls it off, I think, pretty flawlessly. It's a show that knows what it wants to be. There's no confusion at all. The only confusion, I think, from the show is when it gets to the actual comic book stuff. it's not comfortable. And I kind of want to focus on that in a second, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Great show. Good episode. I loved it. I'm watching it right now as we're talking. Yeah, man, it was really good. I think this show did a much better job of transporting us to another city than Moon Knight did with transporting us to Cairo, Egypt. I really felt like I was kind of there and just kind of getting to soak in some of the atmosphere of Karachi. I think this show's firing on all cylinders. My opinion is probably, it's not over yet. They could still have missteps, but just as a whole piece, so far it's the best of all the Disney Plus Marvel shows for me.
Yeah, if a friend asked me, "Hey, I want to watch a Marvel, one of those Marvel Disney shows. I don't know where to start." I would say, watch Miss Marvel. It's really approachable. It's kind of starting fresh. It's fun. It's interesting, and you'll get a good balance of the whole universe that way. It's not too overwhelming. It's good to go. Yeah, I agree with that. We do get a new character from the comics. Mike, who's our new character from the comics?
I'm going to take a wild guess that it's the person I have questions about. Sure. Actually, I think you're giving me a piece of information that I don't yet have. So, in this episode, there's a society called the Red Daggers. But as I look at the top cast, there's a character who is just called Red Dagger. And I'm guessing that's the guy from the comics that you're about to tell us about.
Yes. So there's no Red Daggers from the comics. There's just a Red Dagger. And I don't want to butcher his name in Pakistani, so I won't do that. But he is from the comics. His actual name is Kareem. And yeah, he's
the comic book character's real name is Kareem. Not the actor. Not the actor, right?
Yeah, and so he's Karachi's superhero. So yeah, and if you click on the show notes, Mike, you'll see his outfit. In the comics. Yeah, and if you look at his outfit from the comics, it looks a lot like it does from the show. So we get an introduction where Kamala is kind of researching the train station. Someone throws a dagger at her, and she does, and like Kamala is an interesting place right now. Like she doesn't flinch. She's like, "Oh, this guy wants to fight. Okay, we'll fight."
Yeah,
and she does a really good job fighting him,
testing out her abilities.
Yeah. She's not afraid. She is not afraid of her ability. She goes toe to toe with him. She handles herself extremely well. Mm-hmm. She makes a lot of really fun jokes. The funniest joke is when she kind of bests him using her powers, and he's like, "Where'd you get that move from, Donkey Kong?" And she looks down at him, and she's like, "That's pretty funny."
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. And like, so it's a fun fight, and there's something about the Kamala fight scenes that are very kinetic, very fun to look at, because you don't expect Kamala to be able to do what she's doing, but she pulls it off well, and it's fun to watch her do this, because I would be terrified, but slowly Kamala is not scared. It's like she's becoming more and more bold, using her powers, being more comfortable with them. She doesn't hesitate. She's not making mistakes. She's feeling good with it right now, which I like to see. It's a good growth, especially going to episode 4. We're 5 and 6 are going to do a lot. Probably, we don't know yet, but it's going to be a lot. So it's good to see her kind of grow right now.
Yeah, and the actress Saman, she's continuing to be really great with the facial expressions all throughout this series.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun to watch. Yeah. And so the Red Daggers show up, and it turns out the Red Daggers know the clandestine, and they know about the jinn, and they kind of
have a really sweet headquarters hidden in a Chinese restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
At
really
first,
sweet
we were
headquarters.
Thinking their headquarters was in another dimension, but apparently they just have a really swank headquarters.
Who thought that?
It looks so like clean and perfect and fantastic. But no, it's just cool. just awesome headquarters in there. They do tell us about other dimensions in there. Do you want to enlighten us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so help me out, Mike. What's the guy's name? Not Red Dagger, but his like sensei or his mentor. I don't know his name.
You would ask me that.
Just look for that. Look for that while I kind of bring it. So the master, the sensei of the place. No, keep trying.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm looking at top cast, trying to recognize the face, and unless it's Waleed, I don't know. Salim?
Okay. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. We'll just call him
anyway,
Sensei.
the head of the Red Daggers.
Sensei.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do so much prep for this. But he kind of fills in the gap. So first, and this is interesting to me, the Noor dimension, the power, so Kamala gets her powers from within herself, but she pulls the energy from the Noor dimension, and it's sort of like it's a dimension that is that coexists with ours.
Yeah, it's like laid on. They show us this in the Red Daggers headquarters. It's literally like laying on top of our reality. But it's in a dimension that we can't access. And so the big threat here is that if the clandestines are able to break through into the Noor dimension by doing it the way that they want to, it's actually going to like tear a hole, and then the Noor dimension will slowly take over our own dimension. There'll be nothing left.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And so I like the explanation. I like that ultimately for the series, it's going to be a situation where Kamala has to deal with that threat. And I do want to admit that I was wrong.
And I was right.
Well, we don't know 100% yet.
No, we know. We know.
Well, the clandestine break out of the prison.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, you know what? I think they're going to break out pretty easy. That'll happen in the next episode. We'll figure it out.
They did.
And I mean, it's no small stakes. It's no small stakes, Jarvis. They're clearly set up as the big villain of this one. They effectively want to destroy our universe.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But
I was exactly right. I was exactly right.
Well, we don't know yet.
We do know.
We don't. We'll see.
I said we'd find out in the next episode, and we did. I was right.
We'll see. It's still got 2 episodes.
We still have 2 episodes, but I'm pretty sure the trajectory is not going to change dramatically.
Maybe. But the thing that I like about this is in the comics, there's a lot of dimensions in the comics, more than I can even go over in this episode because there's so many. And for our listeners, we have to be careful about the different things we're talking about here. So with the multiverse is not a dimension. A multiverse is a completely different universe. Mm-hmm. Now, universes have dimensions within them. So think of it as a layered cake. So the multiverse insists that we have multiple cakes. But each cake, when you take a knife and cut into it, has many different layers in the cake. And so if you, like, for right now, we understand stuff about, like, the Norse mythology and the idea of quantum dimensions and stuff like that, the dark dimension, stuff like that. And so, like, each universe will have its own dimension. And so some universes in the Marvel comics are really big. Some dimensions are very small, like pocket dimensions. I'm not, from a storytelling element, I'm not 100% sure why people do this. Like, they make dimensions. I guess it's fun to have like different creatures come out of them. Mm-hmm. The most famous dimension in Marvel Comics is the negative zone that Reed Richards found and discovered. So that's probably gonna be talked about at some point in the movies. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But I thought it was really fun how the show's kind of talking about it. If you notice, the Red Dagger Sensei guy said that there were multiple dimensions, not just this one. So there's multiple dimensions layered on top of our world. And so we'll probably get to see that at some point. But to my knowledge, this might be the first time we get discussions about dimensions like this. So it's pretty interesting.
There was also some dimension talk in Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that makes a lot more sense. Because the dimension where the demons and stuff came from in Shang-Chi, they did say that they're kind of connected to our world like that. So I'm thinking
look at me, I'm like connecting the dots between Marvel movies and TV shows. Yeah,
you won't need me around much anymore. You can just be you and you talking about the podcast.
No, I always need you, Jarvis. However, I do just want to call out. The scene in the Red Dagger headquarters just came up that I'm watching here, and I was right. It is Waleed.
Oh, great.
Waleed is the sensei of the Red Daggers.
Do you watch TV shows with subtitles?
This one is I'm watching it now with subtitles, but I can't watch TV with subtitles the same way I can't read comic books. If I'm watching TV or a movie with subtitles on, I'm reading the subtitles and I'm not watching the movie.
I feel like the subtitles / caption game on TV's ripe for disruption. Mm-hmm. Like somebody should figure out a different way to do it. Anyway,
like they could comic bookify it, right, and like put it with overlaid on top of whoever's talking instead of always down at the bottom. Maybe that would.
We're making somebody some money. We're making somebody some money right
Apple,
now.
Get on that.
Somebody's writing this down. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to steal that.
Right.
So what I liked about this episode is like it helps us understand a lot about the bangle and the villains and everything else. So I thought it was really good. But also it helps us raise the stakes.
What really does it tell us more about the bangle? I must have missed that.
Well, we talked about this, I think, in episode 1. I said that the bangle reminds me of the quantum bands from the comics that Quasar uses in the comics, and so it reminds me of that. And in the comics, there is a quantum zone or a quantum dimension where the bands get their energy from. So not only does the quantum bands in this bangle have that in common, but also how the powers are used are also in common.
Mm-hmm.
I hope, and this is my general hope, I hope that the bangle she has is the actual quantum band. I really hope so. It would be super awesome for me, just as an aside, to think that Kamala in the MCU has the quantum bands, because the quantum bands are far more powerful than what Kamala is using them for. And in the comics, she can fly in space. She can fly in space. She can talk to people in space. She can create wormholes in space. And we know that she's going to leave the planet in the upcoming movies, the Marvels.
That would level her up and make her a little bit closer to a peer of Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, just on my end, I'm thinking that that's going to happen. But she's missing one. So we might see the second bangle at the end of the series.
That's what I'm thinking.
It might come up in the Marvels where someone gives it to her. But at some point, the second band, if my theory is correct about the quantum bands, which I'm kind of hoping it is, and I kind of feel like it is, if my theory is correct, then at some point the second band will be given to her, and then she will be officially the protector of the cosmos.
I'm thinking that's her trajectory in this series is like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. She's going to get, Captain America's shield at the end of the series in the form of her second bangle.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll transform her into really being Miss Marvel with, like you're telling me, these expanded powers that she can carry into the movie.
Well, I have a weird theory thing going on, so let me work this out.
Okay.
We get a long extended fight scene with the clandestine. They somehow get to Karachi super fast. I'm not sure how. And they chase her, and we get a nice little car chase.
They're pretty wealthy, and they're genies, so I'm sure they've got ways to get to Karachi pretty fast.
Yeah. So we get a nice little chase.
But it's remarkable how easily they broke out of damage control, like I said last episode.
Yes, anybody can break out of damage control.
Well, you thought that they were not going to be able to break out, so.
I was wrong. I was wrong. So we get a nice little chase scene. We get to see Kamala's powers advance. She actually uses her abilities for strength. So I thought was really good because she pushed that truck off of them, which I thought was cool.
Right.
The Master Sensei Red Dagger.
By the way,
killed.
I was a little bit disappointed in the chase scene. I mean, you're in Karachi. You have a chase scene. That city seems like it's made to have a great chase scene going through it. Kevin Feige, extend 1,000 apologies to Edgar Wright. Get him to direct the chase scene for you. Reach out to the James Bond stunt team. Something. Put better people behind the chase scene in this episode.
They did what they could with the money that they had.
They've got all the money. If they wanted a better chase scene, they'd have a better chase scene.
Yeah, even Miss Marvel has a budget.
I mean, they do, but still, they could have.
It's an absurd budget.
Yeah, they could have had a better chase scene if they wanted it.
Yeah. And we got high body count. To my knowledge, 2 of the Jinn are killed. which is like, wow, like, okay, so this is really happening.
And Waleed.
Yeah.
Pretty senseless.
The Red Dagger Sensei.
Pretty senseless death for Waleed, I thought.
Yeah, and like, I feel like Kamala is really in it now, because in the end of the fight, the lead clan, the head of the clandestine, what's his face is, yeah, she stabs the bangle,
right,
and it opens up a dimensional portal. And here's a question for you, Mike. She either time traveled back to the partition, right, or she is stuck in an elaborate illusion or an elaborate memory. Right. Which do you think it is?
I don't know where she is, but I don't think she actually time traveled.
Well, she went back to 1940s to the partition.
Well, that's what it looks like happened. But
that's what happened.
It just doesn't seem. I guess we do have time travel in some other Marvel movies.
Yeah, we have.
Did we ever actually see the other side of the time travel? Like, we were always, as the viewer, we were always on our side of the time travel, even in the other Marvel movies, right?
In Loki, we saw him time travel a bunch. Right. That's a whole. Yeah, he's time travel. He used time travel over the place.
Yeah, I didn't think about the Loki show.
Here's my theory. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't feel like she time traveled to me. What do you think?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she's time traveled or if she's in an elaborate illusion. What does matter is that the scene with the partition where she's on top of the train. Yeah, those are real. To my knowledge, unless they're doing some amazing CGI at this point, those are real actors. That was a huge set piece. Right?
I think that's amazing CGI.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's actually real. I think it's actually real actors, real trains. All of it's real. That's my. It could be amazing CGI, but that's a lot. I don't know. But just the like, I linked in the show notes. There's an article talking about how Miss Marvel is doing a good job explaining and showing the partition. Right. And I agree. Like, it's a great history lesson. Like, most TV shows would be like, okay, episode 3, we're going to talk about the partition a little bit. It'll be fine. And then we'll move on. But this show's like, nah, we're going to do episode 3. We're going to talk about episode 4. And we're going to have a whole scene. Probably maybe the whole episode is going to be based in episode 5. Right. Kamala's going to witness the partition, see what happened, and meet her great grandmother. So it's gonna be really cool to see all that, and I'm curious because, Mike, if you think about it, if she is there, then she does have 2 bangles. She's wearing one of them, and her great grandmother is wearing the other one. So,
but it's the same bangle.
I know, but if you kind of bend your mind a little bit for time travel, it's 2 different bangles.
But if she put both on, that would be a paradox. And then
who knows? Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Make it happen. But I know it's really cool, and I really.
Do you think the next episode is all in the past in Karachi?
Here's what I think.
I'm thinking it can't be. Maybe half the episode.
Here's what I think, and this is something that I for some listeners know that my full-time job is as a professor, and I teach composition, but also creative writing, and I have an MFA in creative writing. So I'm not flexing. I'm just telling you.
Master of Fine Arts and Creative Writing.
I know. You officially have to bow to me when you see me, like Dr. Strange to Wong. I tell my students all the time, when you're stuck, when it feels like you don't know what to do, make your character go somewhere, travel, and it changes the whole dynamic of your story. And they are following this 100%. Not only did they make her leave New Jersey for Karachi, but now she's in a completely different place by herself. Right. And so it's ratcheting up the tension. We're worried about her. We don't know what happened. She doesn't know what happened. It's really, really smart. And the storytelling here is excellent. This good, classic, moving people around, making the tension really ramp up, making the problems ramp up. They're not being nice to Kamala. They're making her suffer, which readers and listeners and viewers all love. It's a really good job. Fantastic. And I'm super excited about the episode. And this is funny. Like, for today, I knew I had to watch the episode to get ready for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I love the show, but I'm kind of wish I could just like, sleep or take a nap. But then when I started watching it, I really enjoyed it. And now I'm super stoked for episode 5. Like, I'm like, I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
So again, like the show is doing a good job really getting fans like excited about it, really getting people pumped about it. And it's great.
Lots of romantic interests for Kamala in this series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has 2 boys. I like her. 3 boys.
She's now got a third romantic interest. Yeah.
I know. Which one do you like, Mike?
I don't have a preference. What about you?
Yes, you do.
What about you?
Yes, you do have a preference. You do have a preference. Come on.
I don't, but I think you're gonna prefer Red Dagger because he's a comic book character.
I like Kareem, but my heart goes to Bruno. Bruno is like, well, all 3 of them are comic characters, but Bruno was there from the beginning. Like he's ride or die. Like he's it, and so hopefully she makes that decision.
Okay, but Bruno and Kamran, they're not any kind of superheroes in the comics.
No, well,
Red Dagger is.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Wait, Kamran is for sure.
He is.
He has powers.
Wait, did you tell me about this?
Yeah, you should listen to the episode where I explained it.
Can you explain it again?
He was in the comics. He was hit with the same Terrian mist that she was hit with, and he gained powers that way.
Oh yeah. That's right. I do remember that now. Okay.
You need me around.
I do need you around. Yeah. Even though I'm making all these connections, I still need you.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think that it could be time travel in some ways. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I'm fine either way, but we all know that she's going to be, whenever she comes back, she's going to be the Miss Marvel character. She's going to have a commitment to, this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm going to do. It's going to be really fun to see her in her outfit, to see her, actually be the superhero that we need her to be. I still am holding out hope that at the 6th episode, we're going to get a guest star. I really feel like we're going to get a guest star of some sort.
Sense.
A show like this with a brand new superhero, she needs to have a connection to the rest of them. We
know she's going to be in the Marvels, right? So it would make sense for somebody either from that movie to be in the last episode, or somebody that can be her pathway into that movie to be in the next episode.
It's either going to be Monica, what's her name?
Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau from WandaVision. It's either going to be her or it's going to be Carol Danvers. So we'll just have to see who.
Or it could be, and I know you don't like this idea, it could be somebody like Nick Fury, who makes who makes the introduction. Like someone that recognizes the talent and then makes the introduction to the Captain Marvel.
It could be Spider-Man. I can see Spider-Man swinging over. That would be really cool. I mean, it doesn't have to be Tom Holland, but he could just do a real quick voiceover, so it could be like a guy in a suit. How freaked out would you be if that happened, Mike? On a level of 1 to 10 freakouts, 10 being the highest freakout.
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs something. I think,
but nobody knows Spider-Man, so it can't be Spider-Man, right?
Everybody. Oh,
I mean, they know Spider-Man, but there's no longer a relationship with the Avengers.
We'll see. Well, we don't. Okay, yeah.
They forgot about it. Right?
No. Okay. Well, we don't know that. We had a whole discussion about this.
I mean, Happy doesn't know who. I don't know. Happy doesn't know who Peter Parker is.
Anyway, so listeners.
So next episode, what do you think? Are we spending the whole time?
Yes.
Where she is now, or you think the whole episode?
We're going to spend the whole episode is going to be in Karachi. In the partition.
In the partition.
Episode's going to be right there. Yeah.
I think like maybe half. I don't know. We'll see.
2 more episodes.
It just doesn't feel like you would want the penultimate episode of the series to spend the entire episode in the partition. I don't know. Maybe you do.
I want. This is interesting, and this is before we wrap up. I want to say this. Do you remember what's the lead bad woman's name? She's a bad girl. What's her name?
Najma.
Okay. They might be setting up a paradox for us, Mike, and here's how.
Okay.
Najma said, "Why should I be nice to you when you betrayed me, right? Mm-hmm. So I always assumed that the great-grandmother betrayed her, and I always assumed that the great-grandmother created those stars so the grandmother could find them.
Are you getting ready to say that Kamala's her own great-grandmother?
I was getting ready to say that Kamala is created those things and maybe saved her grandmother's life, and maybe somehow she saved or somehow a connection with her great grandmother, right? Mm-hmm. But maybe, I mean, it's a time loop where the things that Kamala heard about, she actually did.
Right. So maybe the stars that her grandmother saw weren't from her great grandmother. They were actually from her.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So and this would, I'll even wrap this up even more. The evil woman.
If that's the case, if what you just said happens, I think the most we spend on the partition in the next episode is like a quarter of it.
Maybe. Yeah. But the evil woman knew Kamala. She said, I've been waiting to meet you or waiting to find you, whatever. Right. So maybe she saw Kamala in the past. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, okay, here we go.
Okay.
So
yeah, that makes sense. I think you're right. I think you had a bad record so far.
Okay.
But I think maybe you'll be right about this. Sounds good.
I could still be right about it.
I like the theory.
Okay. All right.
Definitely wrong about damage control, though. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. Are we ready for news you can abuse?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Mike, there's a link. There's a link there. You don't have to click if you want to, but apparently there's a cruise ship called World of Marvels or something, and there's a restaurant or something you can go to right now where it shows a movie specifically for the thing. I'm not sure 100% what it is. Are you watching it?
I'm watching it. It looks, I'm going to guess this has spectacularly bad acting in it.
No, it has bad acting, but it has the Marvel character.
Right, yeah, they showed up. They're like, yeah, I'll do this. I'll do this, Disney. Okay.
Oh my God, it's really detailed.
Yeah.
I mean,
so this is happening while you're sitting in the restaurant eating.
Yes, so it's like you're watching watching a brand, and it's the Wasp is in it.
Do we see any of her? We don't see any of her powers yet. Ant-Man is in it.
Yeah,
some robot. Oh, Ultron.
How much did they have to pay these guys?
I don't know. Like I said, if they really wanted a great chase scene in this episode, they could have spent the money to do it. They spent the money to do this.
So this is on cruise. So hey, there's a cruise you can take. So feel free to. I don't know.
Are you a cruise ship guy? I'm not. Nothing sounds worse to me than going on a cruise ship.
I don't know. I've never been on a cruise before. I know that you have a high chance of getting COVID if you get on a cruise.
That's true. But also, even before pandemics, I don't want to spend my vacation somewhere that gives me deadlines.
There's Brie Larson on this thing.
Yeah.
What?
Brie Larson, the new Captain America.
They had to pay each one of these people like $1 million, right?
Probably. I don't know, man. I don't know.
If I was one of these guys and I had to do this for a cruise ship, I'd be like, what? Mm-hmm. I guess it's my life.
Yeah.
This is who I am. Anyway, feel free to watch that and make fun of it. It's fun. Next up, Ms. Marvel is the highest rated Disney Plus TV show. Not Marvel TV show. The highest rated Disney Plus TV show.
Wow. Ever. Okay. Huh. I definitely think it deserves it out of all the Marvel ones. I don't really know what the other competition is on Disney Plus.
I'll tell you. Okay. Mandalorian season 1 got 93%.
The what?
Mandalorian season 2.
Oh, Mandalorian. Okay.
Mandalorian season 1 and 2 got 93%. The Clone Wars got 100%, but it's technically not an original, so it doesn't count.
Right.
WandaVision got 91%. Falcon and Winter Soldier got 3%, which I agree with. Star Wars The Bad Batch 85%. Loki got 92%. Now here's the bad one. What If got 94%? Like, what were they watching?
I don't know.
Hawkeye got 92%. Book of Boba Fett got 66%. Moon Knight got 86%, which I think is low.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, which people just love to hate, got 75%. But
I did not enjoy that series.
But Miss Marvel's sitting at a really high 96%. People, the viewership
it deserves it.
Viewership is low, but the ratings are high. So it's interesting.
Does it say what the viewership is compared to some of the other Disney?
I don't have the data for that,
no?
but
okay.
I do know the viewership is a little lower. But I will say this: if you are looking at the Miss Marvel ads and think that show's not for you, give it a try. Watch the first episode, and you'll be hooked.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's really and this they're going to make a whole movie like the Miss Kamala, the actress who plays Kamala right now. She's going to be a huge movie star. Huge. She's already getting to that point where she's going to be a massive. You can just see it.
Yeah.
And so be on the ground level, because she's going to make a lot of Marvel movies, and her contracts is going to be. She's super young, so her contract's going to be around for a while, right? So just keep that in mind.
I want to do something unprecedented. I know we just got done talking about news you can abuse.
Okay.
But I have a new question for you about the show.
Sure.
Nakia, her friend.
Yeah.
This whole episode, Kamala is trying to get in touch with her friend Nakia. Trying to text her. No response at all.
Yeah.
What's going on? What do you think's going on?
She's mad at her.
Yeah? Nothing darker than that?
Yeah. Nah. No. She's mad. Nakia's mad at Miss Marvel.
The clandestines didn't get to her.
No.
Nakia is not some villain from the comics that I'm not aware of.
No. Nothing like that. She's just mad.
Okay.
But hopefully, by the last episode, they'll make up and become friends again.
Yeah, I'm sure. Unless she's a villain from the comics that I'm not aware of.
So, Mike, no, she's not.
Okay.
So, Mike, we've got 2 more episodes left.
That's right.
So, how should people prepare for the last 2 episodes?
You know what? You really need to form a group of people that you can talk to about this stuff. There's going to be a lot going on in the last 2 episodes. You need people you can talk to about it. Great way to do that is to share this episode with them so you can start that conversation. Right? Am I right?
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Like we are the people that you get to listen to talk about the show after you watch the show. So we get to answer some questions.
Yeah.
But not only that, you get to understand more about the show, and hopefully you're sending this out to your friends and family as well, so you all can have Super Sod Show listening parties, right? Where you all get into a room and you put your headphones on, and each person listens to it differently, so we can keep our numbers up.
Absolutely. And if you're listening to us right now and you're not already subscribed, you're not already following us, do that so you can catch the penultimate episode and then the ultimate episode.